Hill loading up, lofting deep, going down there, forehands, caught! Sanders adjusting to the ball mid-air.
Broncos country has seen plays like that before from Emmanuel Sanders. Welcome back to Broncos Weekend, everybody. Yeah, the Saints have plenty of weapons in addition to Emmanuel Sanders. They've got Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill. This team, with its defense firing on all cylinders, is probably the best team in the NFC without Drew Brees. So why has this team had so much success this season? Well, we sent Steve Atwater behind enemy lines to chat with Saints senior writer John DeShazier.
Let's get right to it. The question that everybody wants to know the answer to, you probably know what the question is already. Was the performance by Taysom Hill, was it real? Can it be duplicated? Is this sustainable?
Well, that's the $1 million question, Steve. I mean, who knows? It was a one-game opportunity. We'll see what happens when he moves on. Can the offense settle in around him and do some of the same things? Yeah, because he's a guy who he can run it. He's in a position where, and we all even saw this with Drew Brees before he got injured. He doesn't have to be a hero. Doesn't have to placate and carry this team. This defense is playing well enough to where all he really needs to do is kind of, I hate to say not lose it, but throw it away. And this defense, the way it's playing, will give you an opportunity to win it. But he was extremely efficient in that Atlanta game. 18 of 23 passing, 233 yards. He ran it 10 times for 51 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Very efficient. And if you can have that kind of efficiency, I don't care, who you are. If you can have that kind of efficiency, you're probably going to put your team in a really good position to win.
So Emmanuel Sanders, he's my guy. He spent 5.5 years here with the Broncos. And unfortunately, Michael Thomas has been battling an ankle injury. He's missed several games this season. But Emmanuel Sanders, he is leading all the Saints receivers and tight ends and receptions and receiving yards. What has he meant to this New Orleans Saints offense, and how bright is his future there in New Orleans?
And he started slow, Steve. I mean, it took him and Drew Brees a while to get on the same page. Basically, when he got into his groove, he was, I don't want to say carrying that offensive receiver, but he pretty much was. I mean, he was kind of the threat for Drew Brees to kind of go to because Michael Thomas wasn't there. And we saw exactly some of the things you guys saw in Denver. There's not a route that I don't think that he can't run. I think he can run routes, everything in the route tree, and he can catch the doggone ball.
Oh, yeah, he got some hands, he got some gloves.
Yeah. So, I mean, so when you get a guy like that and you can put him in with Michael Thomas, now all of a sudden the defense say, well, okay, how much attention are we going to pay Michael Thomas? And if we're going to give special attention to Michael Thomas, what are we going to do about Emmanuel Sanders?
Well, now they say defense too. I mean, he's second in NFL in rushing yards allowed per game. How would you describe their improved play over the last several years? Because it's gotten better and better each year. And this year, it seemed like they finally just arrived.
Well, one, they got better players in. That it always starts there. You get in better players and you get those guys in the right positions, and then you're able to execute better. They had Cam Jordan around here for a long time, but Cam Jordan didn't have a lot of help for a few years. But then you get a Marshawn Lattimore in, and a Demario Davis in, and then you get a David Onyemata in. But they've been on a heater defensively, man. They the last 3 games they've been giving up 8 points a game, and I mean they basically won't let you run the ball. They won't let you run it. Now I say that, and Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay are going to have something to say about that. Mm-hmm. Won't let you run the ball. They make you one-dimensional, and then they get after the quarterback. But they always say, Steve, you play defense, and what these guys here say is, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. And the way you earn the right to rush the passer is stop the run.
Stop the run.
And you earn the right to rush the passer. So, they've been earning the right. Man, they got after Matt Ryan in ways that you just figured, some of those were rush sacks, and some of those were cover sacks where, you look at it on the film, and he had nowhere to go with the football. He just nowhere to go with it. I guess he could have thrown it out of bounds, but that was it. He had nowhere to go with it. And when they get the secondary going that way with the guys they have up front, and trust me, David Onyemata is an talked about guy. He is a menace in the middle. He can be a menace at the defensive tackle. When they get the secondary going, those guys in the front, they turn loose and they can get after a passer.
Yeah, well, hey, tell them to call the dogs off this weekend. Take it easy on my boys. Well, John, hey, man, it's been awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time again.
Steve, I appreciate the invite. I appreciate the chat, and we'll hopefully see you guys pretty soon. And unlike you, I do want the Saints to win. So
I know you do. Absolutely.
we'll see what happens Sunday. But looking forward to a good game, man.